Yes. How?
It's not convenient to speak.
Ah, well said.
Yep.
And yet the code they use.
happened to see the Jade Chamber flying over just as we came out of the Golden House, we really wouldn't have known which way to go. Did we make it in time? Is the Overlord of the Vortex still in the sea? It hasn't destroyed Lele yet, has it?
What are you doing here?
Huh? Hold on. It's the Adepti. What are you doing on the Jade Chamber? Hyman thought you were arguing with the Chising. Is the fighting over?
Faced with a calamity of such magnitude, we have agreed to put our differences aside for now and unite against this common enemy.
Oh, Hyman gets it. So how do you plan to defend Lele? Just seeing this Overlord of the Vortex guy puts a pit in Hyman's tummy, even from all the way out here.
It's not just you. We've got new Millilith recruits who can't even stand at attention without shaking. The force of an ancient god's presence seems to be too much for ordinary people to handle. Which is why we must stop that monster before it gets any closer to Liyue Harbor.
So the Archon War was fought 2,000 years ago against enemies like that thing? Now that's scary. So will the power of the Chising, Millilith, and Adepti gathered here be enough to stop that god?
We've already discussed this together, and our conclusion is not necessarily.
What? Wait, all of you are supposed to be the guardians of Lele. Can't you think of something?
One certainly could.
Huh?
The Chising did once research the matter of the Guizhong Ballista when it piqued their fancy. And as fate would have it, one who did craft the Guizhong Ballista with one's own hands is here. For what could you mortals ever learn of Adepti mechanisms? Yet, it would take one, but a little tinkering to turn this ballista into an engine of...
I suppose this is one blessing from the Adepti that we should be thankful for. So be it. We shall use the upgraded Guizhong Ballista to fight off that god. All the Adepti here can lend their strength to man it. We haven't a moment to spare. Our battle begins now. Yep.
The three Adepti are manning the Guizhong Ballista. Do not let the Fatui disturb their work!
All able Millilith, with me!
Let's go up too!
We Adepti have not faced the god in several millennia. Let one see what you're made of then. What strength remains within you? One wishes to witness.
Here
as Osial's divine power. I am very familiar with it. Be careful not to get hit.
The Fatui! Their attacks are unrelenting!
Snezhnai's diplomats will answer for this afterward. Every last one.
My duty.
The ancient god's attacking again! There are so many Fatui too! We can't help!
Were you about to say we can't hold them, children? Don't lose heart. Here, take this.
This is dental energy! That light from your body, it's like the tiny giant cars! Wow! It's Madame Ping's shockwave! This green is really strong! Don't mistake!
This should be fun. My work. Finished.
Think you can get away? Brace yourself! Hey!
This isn't good.
With the blood of the Chilean, I guard you against evil! Cast your fear of injury by the wayside. And fight with all your might! I too did this during the Archon War! So this is what Gunny's like in a fight!
My name means swiftness. Take my power and run as I do.
We're going too fast!
Child, you are strong in body and spirit. Perhaps you can withstand 3 forms of adeptal energy at once.
This will hurt a little. Please bear with us.
Once you've adapted, try to use them in battle.
Over here! Don't blink!
Yes. This is it.
Time for takeoff. Reach it in the straw. Nowhere to hide. Exercise caution. I fear that the god's power has reached its peak.
In other words, if we hold here, there's nothing worse to come, right?
Once we finish this lot off, the Adepti will be able to deal with the god in peace.
The interlopers are no more. Now we may commit ourselves fully.
It's working! We just need to keep this up!
Be careful now.
The Guizhong Ballista is destroyed. Without its covering fire, retaliation shall be difficult.
But the Jade Chamber is our last line of defense. We can't give another inch, no matter what.
I have another idea.
What do you mean, Lady Ningguang?
I'll sacrifice the Jade Chamber.
What is the meaning of this?
I understand.
Traveler, lend me a hand. Farewell, old friend. Goodbye for now. Let us meet again in the future.
Is it finally over?
The ominous aura of that monster has indeed begun to fade. The effects of the Sigil of Permission last but a short time. It will be some time before the Overlord of the Vortex can make any waves again.
We are indebted to you for your assistance. If the Adepti hadn't happened to be here, the future...
Save your flattery. We didn't just happen to be here. Surely you won't pretend to have forgotten the reason for which we came.
Come now. There's no need for such harsh words, Cloud Retainer. I've heard that when Ningguang began learning to do business, she had already started setting aside part of her then limited income in preparation for building the Jade Chamber. At first, it was only the size of a small room, But with continued expansion, it is a testament to Ningguang's entire life, both as a businesswoman and as the backbone of the Liyue Qixing. Seeing the Jade Chamber destroyed in the defense of Liyue means much to her. To me, such cooperation and sacrifice deserves at least some recognition.
Well, I was really hoping you would say that such sacrifice could at least be used as some leverage in our negotiations. Thank you all for hearing me out. We know very well why the Adepti came here today. But please forgive us. We cannot yield to your wishes.
Oh?
3,700 years. According to our records, the Adepti signed a contract with Rex Lapis to protect Liyue 3,700 years ago. Even to this very day, Liyue and its lands have stood the test of time, immovable as stone. But that does not mean that the Liyue of today is the same city as it was all those years ago. Do not merely cast your protective gaze upon the land. Instead, focus your sights on our city and each of the citizens that dwell within it.
Are you questioning our means of protecting Liyue?
I mean no offense. I simply hope that our Adepti forebears would see Liyue in a new light.
Forebearers, you say? One doubts you would be fit to be part of such a lineage.
This morning, Rex Lapis appeared to me in a dream.
What?
In the dream, I yearned to tell him that we Qixing, though mortal, are equally bound to the contract. Each passing generation of the Qixing leaves many things of value to be inherited. I also thought to tell him how the past generations of Qixing had strove under his rule to survive in our mortal world, establishing a network of contracts which has since come to be known as trade. But I dared not speak. I could only gaze at him in silence until the moment I...
Oh, Ningguang.
Yet another perspective. What are you trying to say, Outlander?
Right! That's something that happened in Mondstadt. It's a story about the Four Winds and the people of the Animal Archon. The Animal Archon sought to quell the strife between the two sides, because he believed that such conflict would only scar the hearts of both.
Each of the 7 nations has its own scars from the past.
Though your point is the very height of simplicity. As Adepti, we've become a laughingstock, to be chastised thus by an outlander who has lent us such succor.
All right. Didn't Ningguang suggest that we should focus on the city and each of its citizens? I know I already have, so why not see for yourselves?
I apologize for appearing in full armor. I am afraid I cannot show the proper courtesies.
And who are you?
I am Feng Yan, a sergeant of the Millilith. I have come to extend my thanks. I thought this battle would perhaps be my last. But thanks to the aid of... Although I am a mere mortal soldier, I promise to hold the line and never betray the grace given to us by the illuminated Adepti.
Huh? Why does everyone look so down?
Weren't you frightened, dear?
I wasn't afraid. All the strong Millilith guards were there. When danger is near, everyone always protects me. And the rest of the time, they make fun toys and tasty snacks and thanks for protecting Liyue Harbor.
Unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to participate.
Huh?
Because we are Adepti.
Oh, okay. It must be hard being an Adeptus. Oh.
You see, this is what Liyue is like today. The country of contracts is grateful to the Adepti for their protection. But it is no longer necessary for the city to rely on the Adepti's power to solve every little niggling matter. Although their blood is weak, there is still strength to be found in those we call mortals. The time of contracts between gods and Liyue has long since passed. Now is the time of contracts between Liyue and its people.
Seeing the port around us now, it is hard not to feel a bit out of place. Wouldn't you say so, Cloud Retainer?
Your line of inquiry is askew. One did not spearhead this expedition to Liyue Harbor.
See?
Let us return now.
Eager to leave, Conqueror of Demons.
Yes, one understands what the Conqueror of Demons means. The city of Liyue has changed much after our long separation. One fears that by the time one finally grasps the new contracts of Liyue, you humans would have once again changed the place beyond. Fair enough. Away we shall, and return whence we came.
Since we Adepti have consensus, then one shall persist no further. But how will we ensure that the Liyue Chising will not simply exploit their power once we depart? In my view, that is still a thing to be guarded against.
All right, Mooncarver, you needn't worry. It seems to me that this right of supervision is best left to the people of Liyue.
Looks like the conflict between humans and Adepti was avoided. All's well that ends well, huh? Oh, right! Its child wanted to unleash the god, but we were able to handle the overlord. Oh, and speaking of that, don't we still need to... Paimon doesn't get it. But isn't the strongest lead we have the Adepti-less rite of parting that we're organizing? No idea where Zhongli's gone. Let's ask for him. I'm at Wangshem Funeral Parlor.
there anything I can do for you two?
We've come to see Zhongli.
Unfortunately, Zhongli isn't...
Doesn't the Northland... Last time we saw Zhongli, do you think he doesn't know about the... We had better go and make...
You call this cooperation between Harbingers. Cooperation involves communication, you know.
Don't take it to heart, child. Besides, aren't you happy that you got to skip the formalities and bring chaos to the land? I'm sure you must have enjoyed that. Oh, it seems that some of your friends have...
Hey, it's Zhongli and Child.
It's you two. I believe we've met once before. In the Ah, right. I imagine that it must have been rather hard to forget watching helplessly as something precious.
No, don't let her get to you. You've yet to gather the powers of all 7 elements. And our last battle at the Golden House was almost more than you could handle. So it might be best to keep things...
Well, if it isn't you two. This is our first time seeing each other since Liyue was nearly wiped off the map.
Paimon knew that we should never have trusted a
Oh, now don't say that. Sure, I may have misled you, but I never had... Besides, I thought we were getting along quite well together. Nothing personal. We just have different views, that's all. Of course, you may very... The real deceivers here are Senora and Zhongli. Curse them for leading me on. So actually, I think...
Stop wasting time, child. There'll be plenty of time to chat once I'm through. You remember the agreement, Morax. Now, if you would be so kind. The Gnosis, please.
What in the world are you talking about?
The contract is fulfilled. That...
How sanctimonious.
What? So you're the Lord of... No, wait! That's an exciting twist of...
I do not give it for free. I give it as agreed upon in the contract. For it is a matter solely between the Tsaritsa and I.
Yeah, you don't think you went a little bit too far with that whole fake death thing? Everyone was preparing the ceremony.
Gathering all the forces that had been bubbling but...
Wait, what?
Perhaps it's best. As you know, I've dwelt upon this world for more than 6,000 years. I witnessed the founding of Liyue, together with the Adepti 3,700 years ago. Even boulders that can withstand whirlpools until one drizzly day. As I was strolling along the harbor, I heard a merchant tell one of his workers, "You finished your duties. Go ahead and call it a day." stood motionless among the crowds, asking myself, have I already finished my duties?
Oh, Zhang...
But as I began to consider relinquishing my divine role, I soon discovered that many reasons still remained to not haste. Was Liyue, the city I had dwelt in for so long, already prepared to enter its next age? I decided that a test was needed in order to reveal the answer, so I feigned my own death and gathered the cast of Child, the Adepti, and the Liyue Qixing to play their roles together on the stage that was Liyue. That's right, which is why I continued to safeguard the Gnosis until now.
So you mean that if the chaos ever reached the point of no return, you would simply...
Of course. And it would have been all too easy for him, too. Just as a child quickly matures after losing their parents, so has Liyue matured when faced with the death of its deity.
I was pleasantly surprised with the finale of the show that you all put on. The Adepti deserve the greatest applause, considering their years of seclusion. They hardly recognized the city, yet faced with such a crisis, they exerted the greatest amount of restraint. And hats off to the emissary dispatched by the Cryo-Archon to fulfill our contract, Signora. She managed to keep everything she knew in strict confidence, far from the eavesdropping ears of her colleague Child, just as I had requested. All the while, I carried on as Zhongli, and fulfilled the traditions of Liyue in this mortal form. These things were all a part of my script. The only unforeseen plot twist was the conduct of the Liyue Qixing. I had expected them to do no more than the Adepti, to come to the defense of Liyue. But when all was said, they seized the opportunity to supplant Liyue's divine protectors, and used the subsequent power vacuum left by my death to quickly gain complete control of Liyue.
That doesn't sound good at all!
On the contrary, I think it is excellent. I had always feared that it was too soon for them to take over from me. And it was also that which I longed for the most. As such, this is the best parting gift anyone could have given this god of old.
Hey, what about me? Doesn't anyone feel the least bit of remorse for deceiving me? You've practically kept me in the dark!
I think that thanks would be more appropriate. You certainly played no small part in all of this, wreaking havoc and turning the city upside down. The Lord of Geo ought to thank you for your performance, if anything. If you hadn't created the pressure of a battle between mortals, Adepti, and a god, the lump of coal resting in the hands of the Geo-Archon, Liyue, would never have been able to become a dazzling diamond of a city.
Huh? Just whose side are you on, mocking me like that? Are you itching for a fight? Hey, haven't you learned the Liyue saying, don't always
Well then, with the Gnosis in my possession, I have no use for such idle chatter. We should return to Zappolyarny
fine. I'll meet you there.
Do as you wish.
Now then, is there anything else you wish to ask me?
Right! As Zhongli always told us, a good...
Realistically speaking, there is no such thing.
Huh?
However, I am the god of contracts. For thousands of years, I have made countless contracts. If the deal was of no benefit, then I certainly would not be inclined to agree to it. My agreement with the Cryo-Archon will be the last of my contracts as the Geo-Archon. My contract to end all contracts. As for the bargaining chip that the Tsaritsa used to balance the scale, Uncover that answer for yourself in your future journeys.
Today's the day of the rite of parting. Although the star of the show is fake, we've spent so much time trying to organize it, it would be a real shame not to go there now.
You know that god from the ocean couldn't have just shown up out of nowhere. I mean, it's been 2,000...
Yes, and to think that this happened right on the heels of the...
Say, do you think the person who is...
Now that you mention it, that's very... I mean, it all fits together. That person must have colluded with the evil god to harm Rex Lapis. Still, what sort of supernatural prowess must this
forget it. Guessing's no use to us. Look, the Millilith over there looks like he...
Well, since we're going through... So Rex Lapis... Oh, come on. Do you think that the assassin could have been a normal... There's only one real possibility in my mind. I've heard that the
Fatui?
Shh! Lower your voice. If the Fatui can...
Hear ye all! The Qixing's words. Though a dragon soars ageless as the mountains, it too must return to... Gods and Adepti live glorious lives, but both light and shadow have their season. Rumors and hearsay abound on the streets that Rex Lapis, having been thwarted in his trial, Rex Lapis's soul has recouped the celestial heights. He beseeches the people of Liyue to grieve not, and to... Nor are they to believe street-born rumors, or indulge in baseless speculation.
Paimon needs a translation on what the Qixing's announcement said. So that's how they're... Something feels off. Why would they suddenly give up looking for the murderer? Could the Qixing already have known that Rex Lapis wasn't dead? Did Zhongli tell them in secret after his gnosis changed hands? Exactly, right? Ooh, seems like the rite of parting is... Look, it's Ningguang and Keqing. Are they saying something? Are their speeches over?
As said previously, Rex Lapis' soul returning to the heavens is the end of the contract. And it is also the end of an era.
3,700 years of contracts burnt and reduced to ash.
We, the people of Liyue, were indeed prosperous. But blinded by our prosperity, we forgot that time can be pitiless.
The long, unending dream of our Archon walking among us.
Now that we have awoken from our dream, we must learn to say farewell. Will you stand with us as we re-establish our contracts? As we build a new age of prosperity?
So concludes the words of Her Eminence the Tianquan. Does Her Eminence the Yuheng have anything to add?
Huh? Is she looking this way?
Traveler.
Yikes! She really is looking our way!
Is that the traveler who they say defeated the ancient god?
So young. The Liyue Qixing always repay their debts. And as you have heard, our eyes see far and our reach is long. Name your price. You deserve that much.
Whoa!
Well, could you help me put up some missing person posters?
Perhaps.
Huh. But it seems, well, that's fine. Suffer no rivals.
The cleanup up.
Hey, Zhongli! Look at this! Everyone in Liyue is caught up in their emotions, thinking that they'll never... And here you are looking all relaxed!
Why would I not feel more at ease after laying down the burden I have borne for 3,700 years? Right. If the two of you can spare the time, I should treat you to a meal at the Xinyue kiosk.
Ha! That sounds like big talk, Zhongli. Paimon might have believed you if you were treating us to some third-round knockout.
You're right. I do like the Mora.
But why would Morax lack...
As the Rex Lapis Morax, I can easily create Mora. But since I have chosen to walk this earth as the mortal Zhongli, I should abide by the same rules that mortals do. When I was journeying with you, though I still had the Gnosis in hand, I knew that I must soon retire from my role as an Archon. So I had to rehearse a little.
Oh, no wonder! Paimon gets it now. You didn't look at the price tags when we were spending because you've never had to. But since you weren't used to not being able to just make more Mora as and when you wanted to, you had to try becoming a parasite to society who lives off of other people's credit.
Well, we were only spending Fatui money. You don't have to say it like that. In the City of Commerce, we do not merely exchange money or goods. We also exchange knowledge, memories, and foresight, as well as positions, roles, and lives. The Archon Morax could never experience life as the true mortal Zhongli could, no matter how many times he descended to be with his people. I must thank you for that. I will treasure the memories that I made as Zhongli, traveling the streets of Liyue with you. That is true. But there is no journey that does not end. No meetings without partings.
Paimon thinks that we should make a move and continue our search for the Seven.
I fear that continuing your journey may be difficult. The nation that neighbors Liyue by sea, Inazuma, is presently closed. The Electro-Archon Ball. And just as the people of Liyue preferred to call me Rex Lapis, she too goes by another name among locals in Inazuma.
Paimon thinks we've heard that one before. Raiden?
That is the case. And since Raiden is also the Shogun of the Inazuma Bakufu, people call her the Raiden Shogun.
That said, though people at the wharf were saying that the situation in Inazuma is very tense, Paimon doesn't remember that always being the case. It wasn't that bad last year. Zhongli, since you're Rex Lapis, shouldn't you know something about what's happening there? Just how did Inazuma become a closed nation?
It's because of visions.
Visions?
When faced with circumstances beyond their control, humans often bemoan their lack of power. But if a person shows true strength of will at a desperate and fateful moment in their life, the gods will look upon them with favor. This is what visions are. Magical foci bestowed upon those who have been acknowledged by the gods.
Uh-huh. That's how people in Teyvat see it.
But starting from last year, the Raiden Shogun began promulgating the Vision Hunt Decree.
Vision Hunt Decree?
Yes. It was an order to seize all visions within Inazuma's borders, and to inlay them upon the hands of a statue of the 1,000-armed, 100-eyed god.
They want to seize visions. But why? Aren't visions blessings from the gods?
I should think that in the Raiden Shogun's eyes, it is precisely because they are divine blessings that they should be under the sole dominion of divinity.
Whoa, that's harsh.
The Animo Archon is the god of freedom, and the Geo Archon is the god of contracts. For her part, the Raiden Shogun is the god of eternity. It seems as though she has finally decided to eliminate any unstable elements that could pose a threat to her eternal realm. The fact that even I, the oldest of the seven, have now passed away will only strengthen her resolve to pursue eternity. Knowing her, she must have again quoted that adage she is most fond of when proclaiming that decree to her people. 7 ideals for 7 gods, and of these, eternity is nearest unto heaven. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Ah, that was a good one. That said, the reason why the Qixing were so eager to resolve the incident and stop pursuing the culprit was indeed because they received news in secret that Rex Lapis was not dead. I hinted as much to the Adepti as... How did I accomplish that, you ask? Have you ever heard... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
That's right. Zhongli, since Morax is dead... Also, isn't the Golden House the only mint in the entire continent? Well, it even...
The Mora present now will not vanish. But the Golden House will indeed have to cease operations for a lengthy period of time, since creating Mora requires the use of the Geo-Archon's power.
This is terrible! We're all about to run out of Mora!
Yes, this is indeed a major... well, I suppose...
Then, did you at least set some private fund?
Oh, a private fund. This does seem like a... It's a shame.
What's a shame?
It's a shame that I didn't think of it at the time. All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing...
These are indeed false accusations. But it remains undeniably true. I've heard that Ningguang is busy milking that for all it's worth on the foreign relations front at the moment. Ha! Those poor Snezhnayan diplomats. If it were not for Child's exalt... All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know?
Yeah, about that. Before the Qixing made their announcement...
These are indeed... I've heard that Ningguang... Ha! All right then. Was there anything else you wish to know? Well then. I suppose you'll have to find a way to get inside this closed nation.
Fate is called as such, for it cannot be changed, nor can it be reversed. It can only but be accepted. Fate is called as such, for it cannot be changed, nor can it be reversed. It can only but be accepted. astrologers must rid themselves of material desires. Only by ridding oneself of them. Divination. Divination is about precisely foretelling one's written destiny. Oh. Fate is called as such, for it cannot be changed, nor can it be reversed. It can only but be accepted.
As you wish. I can't wait any longer! play with me? Let me scribe. The more, the merrier. Steady as stone. Delves into destiny. Nice. Let me scribe. Leave it all to me. Nice get me. Delves into destiny. The merrier. Booba, get them. Let me scribe. Shadows of fate. Let me amuse myself a nice and spicy. Delve into destiny. Let me scribe. Steady as stone. Now you've got me worked up. Nice and spicy. Let me scribe. Shadows of fate. Nice and spicy. Let me scribe. The merrier. Blink. Blink. Get them. Let me scribe. Over here. Let me scribe. Over here. Leave it all to me. Delve into destiny. Shadows of fate. I must leave no stone unturned. Blink. Shadows of fate. Over here. Blink. Let me scry. Oh, now you've got me worked up. I must leave no stone unturned. Someone needs assistance. Let me amuse myself a little. Boring. Delves into destiny. Leave it all to me. Nice and spicy. Blink. Let me scribe. Who can I find who might amuse? Wow!